Arabia a week or so ago. Can't see them getting through the group stage.
Yeah, well, they're a very experienced team. They've got 6 of the starting lineup today. Played 4 years ago in the World Cup final. Won all 10 of their qualifying games. Only the second European team to ever do that, scoring 43 goals, 20-odd different goal scorers.
I'll take that back.
The reason why is because they're allowed to experiment. They don't panic. If they get bad results, can you imagine England coming into a tournament having the record in the friendlies? They would be absolutely criticised. But
not if we'd won 4 World Cups and lost
the
4
public
finals,
understand that they experiment. He's trying different formations out and he's searching for answers if things don't go right. So if they don't, he can change something, and that's why the results have been the way they have been leading up to the tournament.
The record's astounding over the years, Cesc. Why do you think it is that German football is so successful in this competition?
Well, what I really like about them is their mentality. They are top professionals. You can see that everyone wants to fight for each other. Obviously, having a manager that's been there for 12 years and being successful helps, because he knows everybody, he controls everything, and I think he gives confidence to everyone. And as well, of course, they've had a base of players, top players during the years. And I think for the first time, after seeing that Van Steigers are gone, Lam and a few other players close, let's see how other players develop, and they will need to take responsibility as well.
Joachim Löw, I mean, it's a remarkable story, really, because prior to taking over, back 12 years ago when Klinsmann left, he hadn't done much in management, which, you know, perhaps bodes well for Gareth Southgate, for example. But he's done a remarkable job.
Yeah, he has, and I think he says it himself. You have to give Klinsmann credit for laying the foundations for him to come in and then implement all of them ideas that come in. And he's been fantastic. And what he's great at, especially now, is he's instilled that mentality, continued that on. But what he's doing is he shows the idea of a transition. They go to the Confed Cup. He takes a B team, they go there and dismantle everybody and win it convincingly. Their under-21s win the Euros. Now, we spoke about the results he's had recently in friendlies. That's because he's experimenting with players. He's trying to implement or get some of them players into this team. And he's been allowed to do that, and that's such a great thing to have from a nation. And what Klinsmann said at the beginning of this whole journey that they've had, where they've had success, is the press, get behind us now, support us, and you'll be along for the journey in the future. And they're continuing to do that, and they're standing by that. And our country need to take an idea out of that book.
Yeah, good luck with that one. As for Mexico, they always get through the group stage, then capitulate. Can you see the same thing happening here?
Well, they've got, as Germany have, they've got a lot of experienced players in there, but they've got 1 or 2 youngsters coming through. Irvin Lozano, who we're going to look at later on, Carlos Vela, obviously Chicharito up front as well. They're and a very, very experienced manager. So they know what they're doing, they know what they're about. It'll be a tough game for Germany to do.
OK, well, let's take a look at how Germany line up for this game. Captain Manuel Neuer only played 4 times for Bayern this season. It's the same centre-back pairing of Hummels and Boateng that started the 2014 World Cup. Plattenhardt plays instead of Hector. Toni Kroos comes into the tournament fresh from winning yet another Champions League. Draxler was the player of the tournament at the Confederations Cup last summer. Muller is just 6 goals off Klose's World Cup record. The pacey Timo Werner has scored 8 times in his first 14 caps. And 7 of the starting lineup have 60 or more caps. 6 of that team started the World Cup final in Brazil 4 years ago. 1 player who didn't was Sami Khedira, who was injured in the warm-up. He's been talking to Juliet Ferrington.
Germany are champions of the world.
It wasn't easy to say that I'm out for the game, because maybe I can risk, but at the end I was not 100% fit. And you have to be always honest to your teammates, because it's not just a game, it's the World Cup final, so you need players that are 100% fit on the pitch. I had the pain the day before the final, but then in the morning, on the match day, everything was fine. And then during the warm-up, I felt, no, I'm not okay.
Schürrle working it in, chance for Götze! Mario Götze scored for Germany!
The success of the team is just the most important, and so I have to decide. And even if it's like this one happened 10 times more in my life, I will decide the same, because at the end we won the World Cup, and also for me, I was the most happiest person after this final.
Does that come down to Jogi Löw then and his man management skills?
Yeah, he's a great coach, but even for me, he's a greater man. He's fantastic. He always want the best for the team. Even if sometimes it's hard if one or two players have to be on the bench, but everybody understands, and I have a great relationship with him.
The pressure then going into this World Cup for Germany, because we always expect Germany to be there or thereabouts.
This is of course the target, but we know that it's not that easy. We say we want to win the World Cup, otherwise we can stay at home and go on holiday on the beach and relax.
But do you feel, for you personally, you want to make up for what you missed out on, the occasion?
No, it's not about myself. It's the target is to win the World Cup for Germany. Yeah, but everybody say, yeah, it's never happened that you win the World Cup twice in a row. So it's a nice challenge, no?
Imagine that, getting injured in the warm-up before a World Cup final.
Disastrous, absolute nightmare, horrible.
I suppose it makes it better if you win, but I mean, it'd be so difficult, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah, it'd be terrible. I mean, but what it does suggest to you that, like he mentioned it in there many times, team is at the crux of all decisions made in this German team. That's their strength.
They're very strong in midfield and bags of experience, haven't they, with that triumvirate in there. Khedira, Özil and Kroos, who is a special footballer, says.
Yeah, I really like him. He's one of those players that he makes football look simple. You know, he's always looking for the right solution. He's always available. He's calm. And what I like as well, that is very important in my opinion, probably you as a strikers as well, he always plays forward. He's always looking for the move. Look at this pass between the lines. And if the movement is right, he will find you. And I think this is very important for this team. He would always be in my team, and it's the type of player that I would always put if I'm a coach.
I think he was great for a centre half as well, because as a centre half you want to play and you want to give people you want people to be available and make himself, and he's always available, never shies away from it. He could give away 2 or 3 balls, not that he does ever, but I'm sure he'd be the one still facing up to get the ball and keep the team playing and the momentum in the team.
Cesc is absolutely right from a forward's point of view, Gary. If you watch his body position, every time, or most times he gets that ball, it's his first thought is, can he go forward? And his first touch is, can he pass it forward? Because if the ball doesn't come, you know, it's like forward, stop running. But with that guy, everything is, can I get it through? Can I pass it forward? If not, the second thought is, OK, I'll go sideways.
Özil's got in the side as well. They've got bags of experience in this side, Germany. Average age of 27 years and 310 days. It's the oldest starting lineup for a German 11 in the World Cup match since 2002 final against Brazil. Does that matter? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I suppose it depends whether there's a fine line between being experienced and too old.
Yeah, and as you say, 27's a great age to be at. I'd love to rewind the clock, and 27 years old, you feel that's prime time. Yeah. And these guys they're serial winners. Yeah. A lot of them have won with their clubs as well. So I think they're in a perfect position. I think what it was, he was experimenting over in the last few games to see if any of them players that won the Confeds Cup can then translate that form into this team, the main team, and he's doing that, and he'll see the results here.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the scenes inside the Luzhniki Stadium here in Moscow, where there's plenty of support for both teams. The Germans are here in large numbers, you can see, and the Mexicans have travelled in huge waves and are bound to create a colourful atmosphere. Pitch side for us, Alex Scott and Philip Neville.
Phil, the atmosphere is building in the stadium. Can Germany lay down a marker today?
Well, I think what we've seen from teams already in this tournament, there's not one team actually jumped out at us yet. I think Germany, notoriously, historically, they start tournaments really well. They don't wait for others to start performing. They're a team that are used to being successful at major tournaments, so I expect them to come out the traps really quickly tonight.
And we've been speaking about this New England DNA, but I feel like Germany have had a certain DNA for such a long time. How do they keep producing and keep producing talent?
Well, they never stand still. I mean, you look at the spine today, Neuer, Hummels, Toni Kroos in midfield, and then Thomas Muller up front. These are really experienced players, and then in and around that you've got really good young players coming through. So what they do, every time they win a tournament, they keep reproducing young players. They've got a tried and trusted system, and that's why when they come to World Cups, they're probably the #1 favourites at every World Cup for the last 20 years.
And And then Mexico, they do have a style of play. It is easy on the eye, but do they need to change that today?
Well, I don't think they will. I mean, you listen to the atmosphere, there's so many Mexican supporters in this stadium tonight. They've got Chicharito. I think we'll see a really open, entertaining game.
Well, let's
See a really open, entertaining game.
Well, let's hope. I know you've got to go now because you are on co-coms for the game, but thank you for joining us. I must admit, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing if they can.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. No team's impressed Philip yet. Thank you, Alex. No team's impressed Philip yet. He must have been flying when Portugal were playing Spain. Anyway, let's have a look at the Mexican starting lineup. Ochoa single-handedly denied hosts Brazil in a 0-0 draw 4 years ago. Their defence has been decimated by injury in the build-up to the tournament. But central midfield is a real area of strength. Captain Guardado wins his 148th cap alongside highly rated Porto skipper Herrera. Exciting winger Lozano top scored for PSV in a brilliant debut season in Dutch football. Playmaker Vela was at Arsenal, of course, and Layun had a spell at Watford. West Ham's Hernandez is one shy of a half-century of goals for Mexico. Like Germany, they are very experienced. 4 of their starters have over 90 caps. Hernandez, otherwise known as Chicharito, of course, may have had a frustrating season for West Ham, but his record for Mexico is impressive. 49 international goals from 102 appearances.
It's Hernandez! The impact substitute. Lovely turn, great turn by Hernandez. Oh, great goal! Javier Hernandez for Mexico.
And Javier Hernandez came in, and their party can now officially begin.
Of course, I'm very grateful to be in another World Cup for your country. You know, it's like the best tournament that you can play. I feel only grateful, happy, with a lot of motivation to try to go and represent my country in the best way possible.
At times this season when you haven't been in the West Ham team, even Chicharito must have thought, oh, World Cup's coming up, you know, I'm not playing, my place might be in doubt.
No, I'm not afraid about that, because that thing is not in my hands. No, I'm working very hard. I'm trying to prove that if I have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, or if I have 90 minutes, that's the thing. No, I'm going to keep working very hard and know that there are some decisions that they're not in my hands. This manager is giving a lot of confidence in Mexican people, Mexican players, talking about myself and my teammates, to believe in ourselves that we can make history, that we can make a very good World Cup.
Nearly half of your squad have more than 50 caps. You have more than 100. With that experience, do you think this is the best chance that Mexico can go further than they've gone before?
It's one of the good things that we have, not all that mixed of very young people coming up from Mexico, a lot of young people as well playing in Europe. We're trying to get a lot of experience, and as well in the national team. So I think we have a very good mix. We have a chance because we have a lot of good things, speaking about individuals and as well speaking about group. I want to win a World Cup. That's the only thing in my mind. Any team in any tournament, in any league, have the same possibilities as other team to win. You see 2 years ago with Leicester, no? They won the league. Our main goal is to try to win the World Cup. That's the main goal of myself, all my teammates, and all the country.
Well, Rio, you played with him, obviously, for a number of years at Old Trafford, and he's like an old-fashioned goal poacher in many ways.
Yeah, he is. You get the ball in the box, there's not many better movers than him. He'll do double movements, he'll go front post to get to the back post, confuse defenders, and gets chances and scores goals. And if you play the ball in behind, and where he makes runs like this all game, he's a defender's nightmare. If you play it in there, he'll get chances and he'll score goals. And what he is on top of that in the movement is his dedication to training, to improving, to analysing opponents is second to none. And that's why you see when he can come on into a game, he tunes in straight away because he studies the game every minute, every second.
I remember watching him in one of the FA Cup games last season and criticising him actually because I thought his attitude was poor and he didn't work hard enough. I think that suggests that he's not happy there.
Well, you two are goal scorers. You played at Manchester United scoring goals, gone to Real Madrid and scored goals, and you're a sub at West Ham. You wouldn't be happy.
It's a good point. What's a decent lad, he seems?
Great lad. I spoke to him this morning on text. He's a great lad. He's always happy, comes in with a smile on his face, wants to work hard, wants to train. He loves scoring goals, and that's what you want out of your number 9.
Yeah. Elsewhere, Lozano, real prospect at PSV, Dutch league, playing all season. He's got a nickname called Chucky, you know, the doll from the movie. Apparently, because he used to hide under the players' beds and jump up and scare them.
All right.
We've all done that, though.
he might be scaring those other defenders around him tonight, because he's a real hot prospect. Don't be surprised if in the next 12 to 18 months that he gets a big move to one of the big clubs, maybe in the Premier League. He has got a bit of an attitude, sent off twice last season also, so don't be surprised if you see something from him tonight, but he's a real talent.
The coach of Mexico does like to tinker a lot. El Tinker Hombre, we perhaps call him. I mean, he does change systems during matches as well.
Yeah, he does, and I think what I like about this team as well is that they are very aggressive, and as you said, they can change shape, and apart from that, they have talented players. I played with Carlos Vela, for example, full of experience, but talent, good finishers. Dos Santos played for Barcelona and did well. I mean, they have players that can make a difference in there.
Question mark over Germany. Certainly in the central striker role. Timo Werner has been electric with Leipzig this last season or so. He's broke into the side. Tough act to follow, though, with Miroslav Klose.
Oh, well, with his record, but he's had a very, very good start. 14 caps, as you said earlier, and 8 goals. 22 years of age. Won the Golden Shoe last year at the Confederations Cup. But in the clips that we're going to show you, if you watch him on all of these, what he does is he pulls away onto the last defender. He doesn't get it there, could easily get it, but what his movement suggests that's where he wants it. He didn't get it the first time, gets it the second time, finishes it off. Exactly the same again, pulls onto the fullback, onto the far defender, because he realises that's the better chance he's got of winning the ball. What a magnificent header. Exactly the same thing again. This way along the ground, watch his first touch where he takes it. Knows exactly what he's doing with it. First touch, superb. Second touch, even better in the back of the net. So don't be surprised if you see him doing that tonight, pulling onto the fullback and sticking one of those goals in. He's a really, really hell of a talent.
One man they can generally rely on to score goals is Thomas Müller. 10 goals in 2 World Cups. He's still only 28. He could go on to beat Klose. Who knows? He's a funny footballer. He doesn't look like a footballer, does he? But he does know how to get it into the back of the net.
He's the type of player that sometimes I wonder, is he playing? And then all of a sudden he comes in and scores 2 goals. And we wonder so many times, what does he bring? He works hard. And we played actually against Bayern Munich in pre-season. I was impressed by his quality, because I always thought, oh no, he's a late runner, comes into the box, scores goals, but he actually has quality.
He's one of them players that you look in the tunnel before a game, you stand there, sometimes you're sizing people up. And you look at him and there's nothing about him that would frighten you as a defender. He's not quick, he's not big, he's not strong, he's not aggressive. But strikers, but the strikers, there are players that just know where to be on the pitch, and he has that nous of where to be at the right time. Here again, you see it, timing of runs to get in the box and finish.
And that's dangerous, yeah.
Only 7 more players have scored more goals than him in World Cup. So what a record! Unbelievable.
A proper player to score 10 goals in World Cup, Sal, that's for sure. Leroy Sané's done a tweet, by the way. Yeah, because he was surprisingly left out of the Germans. I think anyone watching a lot of English football will be surprised, Cesc, but he's done a tweet. Well, there it is. Good luck against Mexico, guys. I keep my fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for what? We don't know, but I'm sure he wants them to win.
Well, it was big news in England. Was it big news in Germany?
Well, probably not so much, but he's been exhilarating this season. So
yeah, I mean, what a talent! What a talent! I've played against him a few times. He's got everything. He can pass the ball. He can go one-on-one. He's got vision. He can cross well, and he's scored quite a few goals this year. I mean, top player.
But anyway, how do you see it going? Germany?
Yeah, I took Germany before the tournament was my favourites, just because the mentality that they have, the young players that they're introducing, a wave of young players to come into to add to the experience. I fancy them.
Cesc?
Same as Rio.
Yep, Germany.
It's unanimous. Thought it might be. Your commentators in the Luzhniki Stadium, just down the road here in Mexico, Moscow even, in Mexico.